Welcome to the Shuffle Curious podcast. I'm your host, Patty Lynch. Have you ever seen an amazing shuffler at a show or festival and wondered, how did they get started? How did they develop their skills? And who are they beyond the dance floor? Well, that's exactly what we're exploring in the show. We'll dive into the personal experiences of the dancers that make up our beloved community. We'll be learning more about who they are and what makes this dance so special to them. So, with that, let's jump into the show and let's get curious together. Hello to the Shuffle Curious community out there. This is going to be episode 21 of the Shuffle Curious podcast. And in this episode, I had the pleasure of speaking with my crew member and friend, Christian. So this will be a continuation of the SideShowShufflers series on the Shuffle Curious podcast. And I've absolutely loved speaking to all my crew members. And, this one is no different. I had such a great conversation with Christian as he kind of walked me down memory lane of how he started getting into the music that we love and also where the dance, found him in his journey. So he had a CD that was burned for him by his nephew, actually, back in about 2012. And that's also the same year where he attended his first rave. So he really started, digging into this, figuring out, what he liked about the scene and really started listening to the music more. But it wasn't until 2015 when he went to his first EDC that he saw a bunch of shufflers getting down at all the stages, but primarily Neon Garden, where, they have a little bit more gritty music. And that's kind of where the shufflers conjured at that time and in that year. So he saw that, and he really started to become inspired by these dancers. And it did take him a little bit of time to gain some traction around practicing the craft, but he would find himself practicing before events would come. And that's when he would show up and really demonstrate what he had been learning. But, after the event, whether that be a rave or a show or a festival, he would maybe take a little bit of a hiatus, but then jump back in once he knew another event would be coming, constantly practicing that way. But he didn't find himself truly leveling up to the way or the ability or the progression that he wanted with the dance until he found the Arizona Shufflers. And it took him a little bit to go to his first meetup, but during his first meetup, it was a plywood session in the park, and he was just surrounded by a bunch of shufflers who, had been perfecting their craft as well. And really the rest is history from there. He decided to tap in to that community, learn from them, and just be a part of what they were doing. So, and in the meantime, after that, he's found many mentors, many rich experiences, shows, friendships, just finding the community and other communities has meant so much to him. So I absolutely loved talking to him about this, and I think you guys will too. So this is going to be my conversation with my good friend and crew member, Christian Gomez. I hope you guys enjoy. Christian,
hey,
what's up, man?
How's it going?
We are in your Airbnb right now. We're continuing the Sideshow series for the Shuffle Curious podcast. But, why do we even need a B&B in LA at the moment? What event did we attend yesterday?
ShuffleCon.
Yeah.
Dope.
So Sideshow came in hot, you know what I mean? With a pretty big presence, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that circle was dope. That circle that we had.
Yeah. Oh, the showcase or the.
Well, they because we had a circle after the showcase and everything. And then after the battles, when the party started.
Yeah. So we had our own booth. We were one of the crews that were repping at ShuffleCon, so we got our own booth and things like that. And the location of that booth was pretty nice because it was closer. It was probably the closest one to the DJ booth. You know what I mean?
I think it was. Yeah. It was the first one when you were walking towards the other booths.
So with that, you know what I mean? we were the closest ones to dance floor essentially, and we were able to kind of carve out a little spot. You know what I mean? All of our crew was kind of hanging there, just impromptu, jumping, making circles, jumping into the circle. So it was a lot of fun to do that with y'all. You know, it was. I think we really showed out, especially for the showcase, because also with ShuffleCon, each of the crews that had booths there. They were able to do a showcase for 2 minutes, and that could have been a wider range of things. You know what I mean? It could either be a choreo that you did, or you know, something like cipher, or something artistic. You know, in nature. Some people did kind of like skits. You know what I mean? And we just did like in very sideshow fashion. We just did a half circle cipher, and it was pretty dope. We all had a lot of fun too. Yeah, getting the crowd all amped up. So ShuffleCon was an amazing event. I can only speak highly of it, and it was fun to be there as an attendee, be there with Shuffle Curious, and be there with my crew. You know what I mean? Cheering on all of the competitors. You know.
It was a good tournament, dude.
Yeah, it really was, dude. Top tier talent, and then just good vibes. Good vibes,
for sure.
all around.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. You know, we are not in Arizona and we are not in Denver, but like this is a perfect time to kick this interview. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And so, you know, with that, I want to kind of tell the audience how we got to know each other a little bit more. So we were both in the batch of individuals who tried out for a sideshow back in, was it August?
August.
August, late.
Late August.
Yeah, of last year. So that was 2022, and so we both got in at the same time. And but I didn't really feel like I got to know you. We both went to Dream State in November. We were talking about this a little bit, like, you know, when you went this way, I went that way. Like we were never really crossing paths or having an opportunity to really like talk to one another. So, but once the podcast started and I was putting out episodes and things, like you were one of the people who was constantly reaching out and giving your feedback and telling me how this episode you found value in it because of X, Y, and Z, or like, oh, that was a cool story that, you know, Brent talked about, or Dee Dee, or you know what I mean? Like you would chime in. And I knew that you were listening because you would come to me with very specific examples as to what was being said and how it made you feel and all those things. So I really appreciated that. And just the fact that you were in my crew, and, you know, it meant a lot more, you know, someone who, you know, in the same affiliated entity, you know what I mean, is trying to support me and advocate for me and all these things. So it really meant a lot. And I think we developed a little bit of a relationship there just through Instagram and things like that, which, you know, is great. And I love that, you know, we were able to do that and build a little bit of rapport, because come time for movement, which we both attended in Detroit,
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Two or so. I think 2 weeks ago, 2 weekends ago. I'm not sure when this will come out, but it was like, late May is usually when Movement Detroit happens. Amazing festival with all kinds of techno. Man, I love it.
I didn't leave the underground stage or the movement stage. I was there all 3 days.
Waterfront I ventured into for a couple sets, but same thing with me. I was pretty much in the underground and then on the movement stage. I
did end my night with Cascade. I felt like everybody did though. It was a vibe. It was dope.
Yeah, Cascade, throwing techno. Yeah, I was about it for sure. But one of the things that made that experience so special was finally getting to meet you. You know what I mean? And it's like there was three other sideshow shufflers besides me there. Leanna was there, and then Olivia. And so it was cool to meet Leanna and then yourself as well. I had already met Olivia prior, but, you know, like I said, we had already been talking and chatting, and I was kind of I was building kind of like, Yeah, or like my representation of like who you would be, and then you exceeded my expectations, you know, at the show, and we were just like vibing, getting it, you know what I mean? Chat, kind of like challenging each other, like. You would look at me to jump in the circle,
Yeah,
and I'd look at you. You know what I mean? We'd both be repping Sideshow.
Motivate each other. That's what we're all about, you know.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Catching some mirrors. So it was an absolute vibe, and I really enjoyed like, you know, sharing those moments with you.
It was
Like
fun.
I think it went so well, and we just had a great time overall.
It was
So
dope, man.
yeah.
It was tight.
And you know, you're also a part of the Arizona Shufflers as well. And you know, I've already had Phil on the podcast as well, and you know, I'm meeting all the other homies like Andy and Manny, and you know, all the other individuals that are in that community and do really great work. Gribbs is out there as well,
Yeah.
one of our other sideshow homies. So you know, it's just all the more reason for me to get out there and to hang out with that community, because I know you guys are so great, and like your intentions about, you know, how you go about the dance and share it with others are very just like healthy and clean, and like
it's a fun community.
yeah.
It's a lot of people out there that want to. They're just out there for fun, you know, just expressing their emotions through dancing and everything. So it's a pretty dope community. If you guys come out there, just let us know.
I can see a lot of similarities between Arizona Shufflers and Mile High Shufflers. You know what I mean? Just the way that you guys, you know, are pretty tight knit and you know, very community centric. You know, same thing with like Boss PPM. Like I can, but these are only the communities that I've had firsthand experience with. Not to say that there's not more out there that are of a similar vein, but those are just the ones that I've crossed paths with, and I've really enjoyed how they go about, you know what I mean, sharing this dance with one another. So it's very cool to see, and it's very neat to like draw these, you know, or create these relationships and further make them, you know, deeper with one another. Because we're all on the same wavelength at the end of the day. But enough of all of that. I want to get into more your story and your background, and kind of like how your shuffle journey has unfolded. So if you could just tell the audience your name, and also where you are from. We've already kind of hinted at it. You can also tell them like you know you weren't always from Arizona, as we were talking about. And then I'll save my last question. Yeah, just name and where you're coming from.
Okay, like where I'm from now, or like where I'm.
Both.
Okay.
Both.
All right. Cool. All right. So I'm Christian. I go by Gomez. I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, and then I'm currently in Arizona though. So I've been in Arizona for about 16, 17 years. So I'd say I'm from Arizona just because that's what I know. That's what I grew up in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm from Arizona. Was born in Texas.
Got it. And so you're a part of SideShowShufflers as your crew, and then your local community is Arizona Shufflers.
Correct,
just you know, if that wasn't clear. For the audience to get, you know, a better representation of kind of who you are as a person, can you describe kind of how you were as a child?
Yeah. All right. So as a little kid, of course, I'm from El Paso, Texas, but El Paso is a really, well, I mean, it's been growing lately, but like I grew up in the outskirts of Texas, of El Paso. So like, I would want to say like the closest Walmart was probably like 30 minutes, 45 minutes away. So it was still El Paso, but it wasn't in the actual city. So growing up, I grew up basically, I'm the youngest kid. I have four sisters and two brothers. So I grew up with like playing video games. Growing up Hispanic, my dad he didn't make me, but like I saw him play like soccer, so like I wanted to play soccer. So I grew up playing soccer. Playing video games, just doing just random stuff, because where I like grew up, it wasn't really nothing to do out there other than just play outside and just do kid stuff, you know. So I grew up there when I was about 12. A week before I turned 12, I moved to Arizona with my mom, just because of family reasons. And then growing up, I didn't really do much, to be honest. Just hung around with my friends. We we were like in bike crews, like in little like just we had bikes.
Yeah,
so
like BMX, like BMX
bikes.
Got it.
I guess we were in that. And then I didn't really play any sports until like I was my senior year, just because I was like, you know what, I need to do something in high school. So
Mm-hmm.
I I played soccer, I played football for a bit, and then I also did track. I threw shot put and then the disc too. So
Got it.
I
Got
was
it.
kind of active. Um, and then what else? How I
Just how you were as a kid. But like it seems like you were active. Seems like you wanted to kind of hang out with friends,
Yeah,
like video
yeah.
games, like all like kid
Yeah,
stuff for
I was a
sure.
kid that was
Mhm.
I feel bad because like I used to play video games, and then like at 9, 10 o'clock I would do my homework, and then my mom would yell at me because it was too late, and like,
Yeah,
give it
yeah.
up.
You
Yeah.
need help like on this problem. It's just
Yeah, and
like
then she's
what
like,
the.
dude, yeah, I need to go to sleep already. I'm working. And I'm like, oh, my bad. Yeah, so I was like the little troublemaker.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, like maybe procrastinating on
yeah.
like
Well, not
schoolwork
sure. Yeah,
and
not troublemaker, but a procrastinator.
got it,
Yeah,
got it, got it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like school growing up. You know what I mean? I was interested in some things, but like other things, I was just like, if I wasn't into it, I'm just like putting it off. Like, don't really care about it. So, it sounds like you might have been similar in that vein.
a little
As,
bit maybe.
but you know, some of the things that you had mentioned, you know, seems like you played a lot of like team sports. Seems like you were like influenced like by your father and what he was doing, and you want to do the same thing. You know, riding BMX bikes around, like that's very like building camaraderie with like your friends and things like that. So in my lens, it looks like a good priming of like a shuffle journey. You know what I mean? Because like those are all like shuffling is very active. It's very social in
Yeah,
nature. You know what I mean? Like there you can find influences throughout that you can really, you know, gravitate towards and like develop your style into. So like it's no surprise that you've like dug deep into, you know, this kind of dance style and the community around it. So, you know, what was life before shuffling? Maybe the years
yeah.
leading up to finding it and then you know really gravitating towards it like where were you in your life before like your origins.
For sure. So before shuffling, I'm Hispanic, so like growing up as a little kid, like my even my cousins and like my sisters would like pick me up and then like dance with me. So like
Mm-hmm.
I would want to say like dance. It's not in my blood, but like I mean, I grew up dancing just Mexican music since I
Yeah.
was a little kid. So like I that was always in the back of my mind. You know, like I was a dancer, I guess, as with my family. But throughout like I used to dance. I used to go to 50 quinceañeras like when I was in high school, and then
Mm-hmm.
dance with my friends, you know, all night. It's funny because like back in the day I thought about it, I was like, should I like I've been like I like dancing since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
um so like I thought about it, like I should I like practice more as far as like dancing like Mexican music, or like,
Mm-hmm.
but then I was like, you know what, I don't like it as much. So like it died down. And then as far as like before shuffling, I used to party a lot. Like once I graduated high school, I think my first show was in like 2012.
Okay.
And then I stopped going just because this was in Texas, in El Paso. So like the way I got into like EDM and everything is my nephew at the time, they were going to desert raves in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So where we grew up in, I want to say like 10, 15 minutes away from where we grew up, it was a place called Red Sands, where it's like you go four wheeling and everything. Like it's like the Doonies.
Yeah,
So I used to
yeah.
throw desert raves out there. So I got into the EDM scene because of that, and then I didn't really listen to that music.
It was
I
just when you were partying or
Yeah,
that
well,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
kind of. And then of course like damn, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
No, you're good. No, this is all like before
Yeah,
shuffling. Like this is all things that maybe have led
yeah,
you or
yeah.
influenced you like along the way.
Yeah, so I was going to 15s when I was like in high school. I
Mm-hmm.
graduated. My nephew, I remember burning me a CD. It was like a trance CD. So that's how essentially I got started into like the EDM,
Mm-hmm.
the EDM world. But then I brought it back to Arizona because like um I was trying to listen to it a little bit more, and then my friends, they didn't really like that kind of music. They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this stuff is whack." So like, hey, I suppressed it. I was like, I guess, I mean,
Yeah, I guess it sucks.
yeah, I was like, hey, I want to be cool like you guys, so I'm not gonna listen to it. So yeah, so
but you liked it. Like
I liked it.
Okay,
Like I liked it, but I stopped listening to it, and then I graduated, and I'm not sure. Did you ever? We were talking with Phil about this yesterday, but did you ever hear DJ Blend like back in like 2011, 2012 ish?
DJ Bland. It kind of rings a bell, but like
So
not.
he was
Not a
basically
full.
like a DJ. He was like a DJ that mixed like songs into like EDM songs. He was
Okay.
just like he wasn't a producer, but like he would mix songs.
He took like pop songs and like placed
Yeah,
them
so if you look
over.
up on
Okay.
YouTube, DJ Blend, you like in the early stages, like he would like mix in his room.
Mm,
It was pretty tight.
got it.
So that was around 2011. That's when I think when I like, you know what, like everybody was starting to, not everybody, but some people started liking it because of like his mixing, and it was pretty tight.
Hmm.
So like, you know what, like I started, I guess, embracing it more because I was like, you know what, like I do like this type of music. So it got more, I got more involved in the like the scene, not as far as like shuffling and everything, but like listening more to the music.
Okay.
And
And at
then
what point in time was this?
like 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay. Got
2012,
it.
2013. Because that's when I went to my first rave in Texas was 2012.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really do much as far as like shuffling or listening to the scene, but I knew a little bit about it.
Hmm.
And then around 2013, 2014, when EDC moved to Las Vegas
Yeah.
is when I essentially started listening like a lot more just because my cousin told me about EDC.
Hmm.
So I was like, yo, this is tight. So yeah, so I started even listening to even more, right?
Yeah.
And then around like when I was like 21, 22 is when I actually went to my first EDC, 2015. And I think that's when I started my shuffle journey.
Got it.
I wasn't shuffling at the time, but I knew about it just because of that LMFAO song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
That had just gone out, or like 2011. I
yeah,
think,
somewhere
right?
around that era, like
Yeah.
2012, 13 or something like that. So I knew about it just
Yep.
because of that
Yeah.
song. I didn't know about the actual culture of it,
Hmm.
but I knew a little bit about it. So when I went to my first EDC, um, I saw people shuffling, and
And it wasn't like
yeah,
LMFAO.
it wasn't. I was like, yo, that's tight, because like.
Yeah.
Like my first EDC, like I explored all of the stages. I went to the main stage, Cosmic Meadows, Circuit Grounds, Neon Garden, and like I saw these shufflers. I was like, damn, bro, that's dope as fuck.
What stage were they at that time? 2015, or the most of the highest density of them?
It was Neon Garden for sure. I would say,
that's
yeah,
what I thought.
yeah. I don't remember exactly because I like, of course, I didn't really like know about the dance as much. So, like I wasn't really focused on it, but I did know that there was shufflers, and I was like, yo, that's just tight.
Got it.
So after EDC, I started like learning how to shuffle and looking at YouTube videos. I'm not sure what videos I did, but I just looked at random like videos. The way I would like try to learn back then was, for example, if I liked the DJ, I would be like, hey, like Cascade, shuffling to Cascade, or like, because I didn't know like what Melbourne was. I didn't know what.
Yeah, all the styles.
Yeah, so I just thought about shuffling just being a dance. And like I started looking at YouTube videos, and then I started just seshing a little bit by myself.
Okay.
I wasn't really like trying hard because I didn't really know any shufflers until like a couple years ago.
Got it.
But yeah, I got in the scene, I want to say like the shuffling in 2015, beginning of 2016.
Just like practicing on your own, you were kind of influenced by seeing some of the shufflers at EDC. Yeah, got it. So you said you didn't like really dig into it too far. Like what did maybe your first year look like? Was it kind of like off and on that you were practicing? Was it, every day? How did you feel like your progression was like that first year?
Oh, bro, to be honest, like trash. No, because like I said, like I didn't know any shufflers like at all, like none. I didn't know what like the style that I liked was called. I only knew about shuffling.
Yeah.
And I didn't really practice up until, let's say, if I had an event going on, or like if I was going to a festival, I would practice like a month before,
Hmm.
and then that's all I would practice. Just
Okay.
because I would try to like level up to that rave,
Got it. Got it. That was
essentially.
your milestone that you wanted to.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
wasn't like I'm gonna be badass, this and that.
Hmm.
But then like once I would go to a rave, I'm like, dude, like I would like see other people shuffling, and I'm like, dude, I want to be like them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
be like I want to inspire people. Like I want to like because they were like pretty dope ass shufflers. Like, dude, this is tight. Like I wish I can be like them one day. Like
Hmm.
I wish I can be this smooth.
You were inspired. You're
Yeah.
inspired by their movement. What do you think? So, like, that's interesting because once you left the festivals, like you said that you kind of worked your way up to the festivals and you were practicing and like you wanted to like prepare almost
Yeah.
like for the fest. What about afterwards? Like once you were done with the festival, were you then inspired like from what you saw and you kept practicing afterwards, or was it one of those things where you kind of fell off and then you waited for the next festival
Yeah,
to
it
then?
was like I fell off and then I would like wait for the next festival. I'm not gonna say like I wouldn't train up to the festival, but I would like a couple of times, maybe like once every 2 months or like
Hmm.
depending on how far apart that festival was,
Yeah.
then that's when I like start training. For example, let's say EDC, and then my next show was 4 months after that. Like I would
Hmm.
practice maybe a little bit, but then like getting closer to that festival, for example, let's say there's a month left, I would kind of practice a bit more to
Got
like
it.
try and level up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that all makes sense. But there was a point in time where I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you made a very intentional decision that you wanted to be good
Oh
at
yeah,
this. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
it became, instead of a hobby, it then became a lifestyle,
yeah,
for you. Can you kind of talk about like the lead up
yeah, for sure.
to that, and
Yeah,
then like when like it became real, you know what I mean?
yeah,
You kind of felt that you were immersed in the dance, the community, all things shuffling.
for sure. Yeah, so like I said, I started shuffling like late 2015, early 2016. I didn't really take it serious. So like I would shuffle like at shows, and then I would shuffle like at shows in the clubs.
Hmm.
Or if I would go out and they would put like an EDM track, I would try and shuffle there. Um, that went on for a couple of years. I want to say 2016 through 2020. So for four
Hmm.
years.
Yeah.
Um, or 20, when was COVID? 2020,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, okay. So until then, and then of course we went to COVID.
Hmm.
There was no more really any outlet as far as like I can go shuffling. So I would shuffle it in my living room when they
Hmm.
would do those virtual sets.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and then I remember I got a new job like right after COVID, and I started following the Arizona Shufflers page. And then I would just like look at it. I would forget about it because like I was like, like I'm not too interested in it. So like I
Hmm.
would forget about it, and then I would look at posts and like, oh, that's dope. So time went by, and then until one day I started looking at more videos that they were posting. I was like, dude, that's dope, and it's here. So I was like, I hyped myself because I'm a very shy person. Like I
Hmm.
don't. It takes me a lot to like talk to somebody sometimes or like to do something that gets out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember I think I sat thinking about going to a meet for like a month straight. I was like,
Mm.
dude, like I want to go.
Back and forth,
Yeah, I was
back
like,
and
damn,
forth.
should I go?
Yeah.
This, and that. I was like, damn, I don't know, man. And then I saw one of Manny's posts, FTS.
Hmm.
It's like plywood session, techno and trance. I'm like, yo, I fucking love techno. Why not, you know?
Yeah.
And then I didn't go that day, and I was like, you know what? I would just go next week. And then next week came around, and then I went, and they were late, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home.
Mm.
So I went home, but luckily I lived like 2-3 minutes away from the meetup spot.
Okay.
So when I went home, he's like, "Hey, bro, we're here. My bad that we're late." I'm like, "Oh shit, bet." And then I was like, "Dude," I talked to my room. I was like, "Bro, should I even go? Like, am I doing this?" I'm like, "Bro, just fucking go. Like,
Mm.
you're gonna have fun. What's the worst that can happen?"
Yeah.
I was like, "You're right." So I went and I saw everybody from Arizona Shufflers getting down in the plywood at the park, and I was like, "Yo, this is fucking tight." Like, they were like, to like come from somebody that didn't know any shufflers and then like not have shuffler friends
Yeah.
to seeing like a group of 10 people just shuffling, like being so good, or them being shuffling for years,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, this is fucking tight.
Yeah, yeah. There's
So
levels to this,
yeah,
and it's
like
like this is
holy
a friend
crap.
group. This is a
Yeah,
friend
like
group
damn.
that like they centered themselves around it.
Yeah. And
So
it was intimidating because I was like, dude, like I don't know these people and they're so good. So like I didn't even talk to anybody that first meetup or the
mm,
second meetup.
not even Manny.
Man, yeah, Manny, yeah, I talked to him
Okay.
a bit because he was the host, so he like I think he like felt my energy
Yeah.
and he just talked to me like, hey man, like this is and that. I'm Manny, like we do
Mm-hmm.
this every week. Um
That's really cool that he was like
yeah,
the
no,
first
yeah.
touch point for you. You
That
know
was
what I
really
mean?
dope because like I honestly I don't know if I would have came that constantly if he didn't say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but he talked to me and before leaving, like I think we had like a 20-minute conversation just talking about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I came back the next week and then I think that's when Colin was like, "Hey bro, like we also have a Wednesday meet." I'm like, "Oh shit, dope." And it was like I want to say like 5 because I live in Tempe, so they did it in Tempe and then in Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
So like I live basically in the middle of both of them.
Okay.
So I was like, you know, why not? So I started going to the Wednesday and Thursday meets, and then that's when I would want to say 2020 is when I took it seriously. As far as like, yo, like I want to level up, I want to get better, I
Mm-hmm.
want to be like these dudes. I want to inspire people. I want to just. I think 2020 was when I was like, yo, I'm all in.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it. And so you're very much just rolling with the Arizona Shufflers, at that time.
yeah,
So,
yeah. After that, everything, yeah.
but besides, Manny and Colin, or maybe you can elaborate on both of them. Were there any other shufflers or experiences with both Manny and Colin that you can kind of talk about that was formative, in your shuffling? Like obviously, Manny telling you to come back to that
Yeah,
meetup,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
him, taking the time to speak to you afterwards was probably very much a step in the right direction for you taking
Yeah.
this more seriously because, there's people who are showing that they care, about your presence, coming and
Yeah,
they want
yeah.
you to be a part of it and encouraging you to do so. But were there any other mentors kind of like along the way? Yeah, can you elaborate on how Manny and Colin kind of
Yeah.
helped you throughout?
So Manny, I would call him my sensei because he's the one that really helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I feel like Manny he of course he helped me level up, like working on he gave me tips on how to work with my T step, like Running Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's been the one that's been showing me how to like express my emotions and like just feel the music. Um, yeah, I mean we would. So whenever me and Manny's like started hanging out, we would go out to like clubs, not clubs, but like to techno shows with
Mm-hmm.
techno snobs. I'm pretty sure because I
Yeah.
think Phil talked about it. So we would go to techno snob shows and he would just teach me like, yo, like you're doing. He wouldn't say you're doing it wrong, but like, hey, look, maybe took it out like this, or like maybe do
Mm-hmm.
this and that. I'm like, all right, cool, cool, cool. So like I would do it, and then like it would feel good, and I'm like, oh, okay. But he would be like, hey, look, I'm gonna show you this, but then you take it your own way.
Yeah. Yeah. Do
Like
whatever you
yeah,
want
like
with
I'm
it.
just showing you how to like not correct it, but like I'm showing you something, and then just you're gonna fluoresce it.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So he was always doing that. We would always go around, so like he would help me like how to, I don't know, just like what is it? Yeah, just like expressing myself in front of people because like I
Mm.
said, I was a very shy shuffler. Like, I'm
Yeah.
still shy. Like, I don't really like dancing in front of people unless like I'm really comfortable around them.
Yeah, circles be like that
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes. It
So
also depends on who's around the circle
exactly, yeah,
and
yeah.
whatnot.
So something that stuck to me is he told me like, hey bro, like to be honest, like even when you're at a show, even if it's $5 or even if it's $300 or like an EDC ticket, if you feel that beat, just dance to it, brother, because
Mm.
you paid something to that artist, so you can feel that connection.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I think that's the biggest lesson he's ever taught me. Like if I'm just feeling it, just move to it. You know, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
is.
Don't be like shy or timid or
Yeah,
reserved about it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Very cool.
And then I want to say like Colin did help me out as far as pushing myself. Like he would always tell
Mm.
me like, "Yo, I see your level ups. Um, keep on practicing, keep on doing this." And like I remember he told me like, "Yo, like I think it was like the fourth or fifth. It was like very early on. He's like, bro, if you keep on practicing, you're gonna be good."
Mm.
And that stuck to me. I was like, "Yo, that's tight. Like
Yeah, just
you
that
believe in me, and
encouragement.
I just met you a couple weeks ago. Like that's tight." So like, I think I haven't told him this, but like that was one of my inspirations. Like, yo, you're telling me that? That's dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna run with it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
ever since then, I was like, yo, I mean, and he's always had a lot of faith in me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. Colin's such a good dude.
I love
And
him.
that's at Gribs, for
Yeah.
the audience
Gribbs.
that
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
know. But and actually, Colin is the for Shuffle Curious. The logo that has the guy with the Running Man. That's actually his outline.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I clipped that,
That's cool.
and with his permission,
Yeah.
of course, because he's an inspiration of mine as
Yeah.
well. Like, we have a very similar body structure. You know, we're both a little bit lankier and taller. And I really like his movements,
Yeah.
and then also just interacting with him, like super genuine, open book. Wants everyone to succeed in this dance. Wants everyone to progress. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like
love
no
him.
surprise that you had this
Yeah.
experience with him. You know what I mean? Like, very spoiled to have him in your local community and to be a leader. You know, as such. Is there anyone else that comes to mind that kind of helped you?
Dude, there's a lot of people. That's no, because because like everybody in the community, like because I was so new to the community, but at the same time, like I had known about the scene, the shuffle scene for quite some years before. I just asked of like like not random people, but like people like I would like my boy Robert. He hasn't been shuffling for a bit, but his Instagram is Shakito. I'm not sure if you've heard that or seen that.
No.
But his spins were like they were dope. Like he's a skater, so like I think that also like helped him on his spinning. So like he taught me how to spin. That was a good one. And then who else? My boy Luis. He is with Classic Movement.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
He's another one that like just has taught me like just to be chill, just to like I feel like he's been in my later journey as far as now, just because we've been getting closer.
Yeah.
After Dream State, we had like an inspirational talk and everything. I guess when we were driving to Dream State. But he's dope, man. He's like been very like supportive as far as like our level ups and everything. Like we're always talking. Of course, Andy has been one that recently has helped me a lot as well. Who else? Damn.
That's all right. Yeah. We can. If someone comes to mind, we can keep rolling with it.
I'll be like, oh, this guy. No.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of help, support, encouragement, inspiration has come from our crew, SideShowShufflers. So maybe we can definitely dig into that.
Sure.
What was the moment? Because like you started really digging into this 2020, and a lot of these mentors were appearing just from like that fateful day where you decided you wanted to like really jump into this. So at what point in time were you kind of let's stick that back up. At what point in time did you that should be all right. Some technical issues.
It's all good.
No, not technical, like aesthetic. Yeah, it's just the flag is falling. For those who are listening on Spotify. At what point in time did you maybe get exposed to Sideshow? You know what I mean? You saw kind of like what their vibe was. And then, when did you decide to do the tryouts and to like kind of gain a position?
Yeah, absolutely.
Within.
So
here, talk. I'm gonna just take that up a little bit.
Oh, no, you're good.
Go ahead.
So as far as for that, so what was it? SS tryouts were August of 2021?
2022.
22, okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know about any crews, to be honest, when I started when I was shuffling until like I started getting into the scene.
Not even not even with Manny being an FTS.
No, so I knew about FTS like after, as far as like when I started going to the meets.
Okay.
But leading up to the meets, I didn't know there was any crews. So I knew about KA, which was the crew that here, won't help you.
No, I got it. Yeah. Keep going.
It was a crew that Colin was running at the time. The only reason why I knew about that was because it was an in-town crew, you know. It was in
Oh, they were out of
they were
like
out of
Tempe?
Arizona. Yeah, they were out of
Okay.
Arizona. I'm not sure 10 people. Like they were a lot of members in that crew when
Pretty
I
active.
yeah they were kind of active. So I was following them because I essentially at one point I was like, fuck, I hope I can be in this crew, right?
Yeah, yeah, be a part of it.
Yeah, so
That's
be a
funny.
part of it. And then what was, I'm not sure if it was before or after, but um it got announced that when I was following the page, they were like, hey, we have a big announcement. Community.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, we have a big announcement, this is and that in a couple of days. And then they started showing like their past crew members.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, they're gonna have a tryout. I'm gonna try out. Even though I was like super, super new in the scene and I wasn't really like I knew I wasn't gonna make it, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try out.
Yeah, you're still hype about
Yeah, I was
the
hyped. So I was
opportunity.
like, hell yeah. But then the news ended up being that SSS had merged with KA.
Oh, got
Yeah.
it. So who was a part of KA at that time?
Um, I know. I think
Was it Max? Because wasn't Max in Arizona?
no. I think that was way before. That was.
Mm.
I think you said that was 2015.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So when they merged, it was 2021. I think.
Mm.
I'm not sure. It was before the tryouts. So it was a couple of months before the
Mm.
tryouts.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a year before the tryouts, something like that. And that happened. So I started following Sideshow after that. I was
Okay.
like, yo, like, so now that they merge or they combine or whatnot, um, I'm gonna, I want to try out for this crew. I'm gonna
Yeah.
follow them, or I'm gonna like, hopefully be in this crew one day because essentially it's part of Arizona,
Yeah.
in a sense, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And then I just started shuffling and whatnot, and then I think a couple of months later, that tryout came into play,
Okay.
and then at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bummed because I was having problems.
Okay.
So I wasn't really motivated. I was like, you know what? Let me just shoot a video or whatnot, like just sesh.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I submitted that trial video, and then those 2 weeks were like the longest weeks of my life because that was
Yeah.
intense, bro. I was like, damn, am I gonna get in or
They took
not?
a minute. They
Yeah,
took
I
a
was like,
minute.
damn, bro. And then once once it came out the who got in, I cried. I was like, no shit. Like I
Yeah.
was happy, bro. I cried. I was like, damn, dude, I can't believe. I had to like reread the message like 5 times. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Like, are you sure?
yeah, like, is this a typo? Am I in? Or is this? Yeah, I was
Did they
like,
tag the wrong person?
right. I was like, is this me? Like,
Yeah.
no way. And then yeah, bro, I was like, damn. That was like, I want to say that was one of the happiest moments in my life. I was like, dude, I'm fucking in Sideshow. That's fucking tight. Like,
Yeah.
I'm with people that love to shuffle. I mean, of course, I was Arizona Shufflers. Like, that's a
Mm.
scene though. But like, I'm like, yo, to be in a crew, for them to believe in me, to like, I'm a good dancer, and then I'm gonna develop my dance even
Yeah, and
better.
then you're gonna they trust that you're gonna represent them
Yeah,
well, and
exactly. Yeah,
whether you're vibing at a festival by yourself or with like
yeah.
in a group, like for that type of trust, you know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
it's like it's not willy nilly
No,
who they
yeah,
pick, you know what I mean? It's very
yeah.
much from what I've heard. I need to talk maybe to Daniel a little bit more about the selection process, but there's very much group consensus,
Yeah,
and you know what I mean. They're looking if you're a good fit,
yeah. He told
overall
me,
with the culture.
yeah, because I think he told me last year at Dream City, like, yeah, man, majority of them voted yes for you. And then Julio, I met him at Skyline
Hmm.
this past year. He's like, yeah, man, I voted yes for you because I just liked your vibe in the video. I was like, oh
Mm.
shit, hell yeah, bro. I fucking love Julio.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, no,
dope.
that's tight. We all very much had our advocates, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
When the selection process came out to shout out to Flows, Austin from Denver. He told me that he very much vouched
Hell
for
yeah,
my position out there, and like
yeah,
without him, I don't know,
yeah.
like no one really knew me or had like rapport with me, so like
Exactly.
I don't know how that all went down,
That's
but
funny. Yeah, yeah.
but he was one of like the people who like kind of spoke up
I know. Yeah. It's the same for Grips. He's the one that put in a good word for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's tight.
And it's
Yeah.
also cool because like I met Daniel before getting into SS because he came into a show that I forgot what show it was, but it was Anna playing, and
Okay.
then yeah, he basically came I think to see her. So we had a cipher within
Hmm.
her set. It was like me, Manny, Colin, Daniel, a couple of other Arizona Shufflers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. I think that was my first interaction with Daniel.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And I'm sure it was very, very
Yeah, it
positive,
was dope.
very
Yeah, it was dope.
encouraging.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because talking about like Julio saying that he like liked my I guess liked my style when we submitted the video.
Hmm.
It's funny because we were talking in Skyline and I was like, bro, it's crazy because when I got in the chat, I was already following Julio because like he's a dope ass fucking shuffler. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, it's crazy to be in a crew with like somebody that I admired, but I didn't know you were in the crew because like I wasn't really I
Paying
didn't
attention in
paying
that
attention.
regard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was like, yo, I'm with him. I'm in the crew with him. I'm like, yo, that's fucking dope.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
tight.
yeah. I didn't realize that London Holiday, he's actually from Denver as well, that he was in the crew either. And I kind of figured it out after the fact. And I've always looked up to London because he's got a really smooth rock. Like I just
Yeah.
gravitate towards like really smooth rocking. And so I was like, oh, wait, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just, some of my inspirations are in this thing. And
It's a cool moment, huh? Like,
yeah,
holy crap.
yeah. And but we're so big too. Like there is quite a few members. So it's like it's hard to keep tabs on like who is all in there as well. And so it was a pleasant surprise to like see that a lot of people rep Sideshow, especially very competent shufflers and just like good people,
Yeah, for sure.
overall. So what has been your experience since getting in to Sideshow? You know what I mean? Has it exceeded expectations? Is there anything that you just like you didn't know like we were about, and then like it kind of surprised you?
Like I said, because I'm a very shy person, so like it's dope to like when, for example, like when I met you, like we had already been talking like online, so like, but it felt like we already knew each other before then. Like it's just very, very like a supportive group. Even with Julio, like it was fucking dope. Like we had a good interaction. Olivia, when I met her at Dream State, said as well. I mean, I met Daniel before. Perez, like when we met at Dream State, like it was just open handed. It exceeded because I'm like I said, I'm a very very shy person. So like getting that feeling that hey, like we're all family now, like it was a good feeling.
You can let your guard down, like we're chilling. Yeah. We're not like scrutinizing each other outside of the shuffle
like,
circle.
Yeah, and then very very like very loving. Like yo, like it feels like we're gonna treat you like we've been knowing you for years, even though we just met 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah. It's interesting because with like crews, like I think dance crews, I think breaking does this a lot too. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone out there, but like with shuffle crews, it's like like how normal interactions go with like making friends. It's like it's a little bit of a slow burn. Like you're seeing if trust is there, like if you kind of vibe with the personalities and things like that. But it's very cool with a dance crew. You know what I mean? Because you already have relevance and just similarities because like you love the dance and all these things around it. And then it's like you have a group of like-minded people who are making decisions whether someone gets in or not based off of like how they are, you know what I mean? And it's like when you put all your heads together and people kind of vibe with each other to begin with, then they have a clearer lens as to, who passes the vibe check and who doesn't. So it's like then and then when you're let into that group, and some crews might not be for everyone, you know what I mean? They might just have a different mentality or whatever. But like once you have that consensus from that group that are very much on the same page and following the same wavelength, then it's like it's easier to bring down that guard. You know what I mean? Like if they brought you in excuse me and you pass that vibe check already, like they're gonna treat you as such, you know what I mean? As if you already have, and then it's going to allow you to be more comfortable in everyone's presence, Like there were a couple people who I met for the first time at ShuffleCon from Sideshow that it was just like, okay, you're cool. You know what I mean? I know you're cool. Like, I don't need to like sniff you out. You know what I mean? Like, like everyone's talking to that. Like everyone is like showing that, they have good relationships with that person and just like all smiles. And so it's like, okay, like I know you're cool. Like I know I can kick it with you. I know I can like if you're ever rolling through Denver, like I know I can host you. You
Yeah,
know, I know
exactly.
I can
Yeah,
ask you for a ride from here to there. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because like
yeah.
we're all trying to take care of each other,
'Cause we're a family.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and promote like this symbiotic, synergistic relationship. You know, and so I think it's very special to have that and to be able to like kind of gain access to that as well, just through this dance, through this interest. You know what I mean? It's very cool, and you know I like with like these relational ties that we create through this dance, whether it be crews or you know local communities and things like that. I think it can really help us like get through tough times. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean?
for
When just
sure.
like
Yeah, yeah.
things aren't going well in our lives, or you know our own either psyche or you know mentality is kind of like slipping in the wrong direction and
Yeah,
whatnot, because we all go through stuff like
for sure.
life be lifing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whether
So
it
you
be
can't.
good or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Yeah. So like I know that has, and we talked a little bit about this before the show, but didn't get into details. But I know life has thrown you some curveballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've slipped into some, you know, I guess episodes of
Yep.
not feeling your best. Um, can you kind of just describe that, if you're comfortable with it, and kind of how shuffling has helped you
Yeah, for sure.
overcome like a lot of those you know bouts
Yeah.
of.
So when I got into the scene like Arizona Shufflers,
Mhm.
before then I don't want to say like a year or about 2 years before I started going into like went into the meets and everything.
Uh-huh.
I had broken up with my ex-girlfriend. So I was in that slump where like I was depressed just because I was
Hmm.
like, yo, like I love this chick, this and that when I didn't. And then at the same time, my uncle was in a coma. So my mom was taking care of him and my aunt. So like my mom was depressed, and then it was just like a hard, really really hard time. So like
Mm.
it was COVID. I couldn't really do anything other than probably stay in my house and just
Yeah.
watch videos. So like whenever I would shuffle, it would take that pain away. And then of course the time went on, and then when I started going to the meets, it's when like my I started um forgetting about that energy. So I started getting like, yo, like it's Wednesday, hell yeah, I'm gonna go to the meet. Or like, oh, it's
Mm.
Thursday tomorrow, hell yeah, I'm gonna go to another meet. So like
Mm.
that became um my release, I guess, my a form to release my energy. Like every
Yeah.
week I would go to the
Yeah.
shuffle
A little
meets.
bit of a coping
Yeah,
mechanism.
exactly. So like over time, those feelings started to like uh, at this time, like my uncle had already passed away, so like
Yeah.
it's um that was done with. It was hard, and then so like I was trying to get over that emotion as well,
Hmm.
and then my ex-girlfriend's feelings were still lingering a little bit. So like whenever I would go to the shuffle meets, like I would forget about those feelings,
Hmm.
and then from week and week and then week and then after a while, it just helped me with a lot of stuff. Even with like healthy, like I was of course doing everybody says cardio,
Yeah.
I was going to the gym. Um, I was shuffling for 2 3 hours every Wednesday, Thursday. So I was getting in my cardio right there,
Yeah. Yeah.
releasing that energy.
Cardio is one hell of a
Yeah, it is,
antidepressant.
man. It is. Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
for sure. I was like, yeah. So like over time, I just forgot about those issues. Well, not of course my uncle dying, but like forgetting about my ex
Or
girlfriend.
help,
Like
maybe helping you process like the
exactly, yeah,
grieving, the
yeah.
grieving, you know, cycle that you go through,
Exactly,
things
yeah.
like
So
that.
like I started doing that, and then like I said early on, I used to like to go drinking a lot as far as like
Hmm.
partying and whatnot. So like um after doing that, then I stopped drinking as much because like I was like, yo, like I don't like getting sloppy and drinking and shuffling because I look sloppy. So like I was like,
Okay.
So like I cut it off. So I started cutting it off a bit more. So I started like getting better as far as like my healthy side.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Prioritizing the dance
yeah.
over, you know, the supposed good time that you
Yeah,
have
exactly.
from
Yeah.
partying.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's helped me through a lot, man, through getting out of my depression, cutting drinking. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
not gonna say I don't drink, but like I drink a little bit before like a show, and then I stopped completely at
Got
the
it.
show just because I don't like drinking at shows.
Got it. Got it.
Um, and then just with cardio, my healthy, like I lost weight. I used to weigh like 180, and then
Oh, damn.
yeah, like 181, and then now like with shuffling and everything, of course, going to the gym, eating healthy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
balanced you out a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah. So it's
Okay.
helped me a lot, man. It's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, that's
yeah.
actually amazing. I didn't realize that, you were
I was a
you
chunky man, dude.
Yeah. Chunky
I was a chunky boy, bro. Yeah, I think when I was with my ex girlfriend, I weighed like 190 ish, and
Mm,
I weigh like 140, 145. So
okay.
it did help me out a lot as far as that process.
Yeah, and just the
Yeah.
fact that like and I already mentioned like you were kind of like prioritizing your habits around the dance, you know what I mean? Like and I think that's a very special thing to have something that you care about and that you're willing to let go of, perhaps different crutches that you have
Yeah.
or vices, you know what I mean? In order to be better at something that is serving you versus things that will, maybe lead you down a not so serving path,
Yeah.
I had Migs on episode 6 and he was telling me he thinks about shuffling a lot. You know what I mean? He's obviously an amazing dancer, does a
Yeah.
lot of mas.
Yeah.
Um, but he was telling me like, when I get up in the morning and I know I want to shuffle, I know I have to eat a healthy breakfast. You know what I mean? I know I have to
Right.
do the things that will help me perform better, in
And
shuffling.
shuffling, yeah.
And then, he went on to say like, and I want to dress better too, because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to dress and I want what I'm wearing to complement my dance as well. So now he dresses better because of it. You know what I mean? And he's thinking about
Yeah.
these things, how he presents, how he feels. And it's like, it's all centered around shuffling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, it's a self-development tool in and of itself because it's making you kind of make these decisions that will serve you in the future because like you'll be a better shuffler
Yeah.
because of them. You know what I mean? And it's like it doesn't feel as bad to sacrifice these things because because the love for the dance and the expression like is much more important than all these other
Yeah.
thbecause that are kind of like
It's worth it,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
crazy because I remember hearing his show and I was like, yo, like because he talked about the clothes, like yo, like I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah.
wearing and it was crazy because I was like, yo, I kind of do the same thing. Like when I shop, I'm like, yo, I always think about like, and it was before his like if I processed it while I was hearing his episode,
Hmm.
I was like, dude, I do like that same stuff. Like if I'm at a store, I'd be like, yo, I wonder how this looks like when I'm shuffling.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, or like when I'm at Walmart and then like you just see some random clothes. I'm like, yo, I wonder how it look at with shuffling in this shirt.
Yeah, let me try it on.
Yeah, yeah. So like, and then definitely like my shoes too. Like I was like, yo, I wonder how these are gonna do when like I'm rocking or like when I'm doing my Running Man.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was weird. I was like, yo, that's what I do. And also the eating thing, the eating habits too. Like
Yeah.
when you go to rave, like I don't want to eat cheeseburgers or like a
Mm.
pizza before.
Yeah,
You
you'll
know?
feel heavy,
Yeah,
like you won't like it might not give you like a good wind, you know what I mean? When you're approaching it, like I feel like I don't move well, like when
yeah,
I've got a belly full of like whatever. Even if I
yeah,
drank too much water,
yeah.
you know what I mean? I feel heavy and I'm not moving the way that I want. So it's like being methodical about what you're putting into your body, like just even just like the density of it or how much you're eating and what you're eating as
Exactly.
well,
Yeah.
like it all kind of matters and because you want to have the best experience for yourself when you're out on the dance floor and it's like
You want to be feeling your best too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, that's where you can really just like let go. Like I feel like that's a barrier to you just letting go and expressing yourself. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If you're just not feeling your best, like you're gonna be preoccupied. You're not gonna be occupied on the music and what's coming at you.
Yeah.
You're gonna be occupied
On
on
your
like what's
stomach,
in your
yeah.
stomach and how your body's feeling. You're gonna be internal versus like being able to feel.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a barrier to you like doing your best, on the dance floor.
That's another reason why like I stopped drinking too, because like you get bloated when you drink. I'm
Hmm.
like, yo, like if I like a song, I'm like, yo, I feel bloated, my stomach hurts, I don't want to throw up. I'm like,
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. And it's like that could have been a kick-ass run
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
exactly,
weren't if
yeah,
you weren't like drinking or whatever else. So it's like, yeah, like at the end of the day, like do those things serve you? If you are serious about the dance and you want to be, moving your body at every opportunity that you can in the best way that you can, then it's like, all right, yeah, you really have to look at what your habits are
yeah,
and how you're going about your life to either help with that or, maybe even mitigate it. Like, all right, I'm not gonna get sloppy drunk, but I'm gonna have one drink.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
one
yeah.
drink. It's gonna be a seltzer. It's not gonna be something heavy or
Exactly, yeah.
like shit like that. So
Or if like, I mean, yeah, even if it's like, yo, I need a drink to calm my nerve down. I mean, yeah, it's cool, just
yeah. Yeah, it's nothing to be like, oh, no shuffler should ever drink. It's like,
yeah,
have a good time, but obviously everything in moderation. And then like did that drink serve you or disserve you? Did those drinks serve you
yeah,
or disserve you? That sort of thing. So awesome, man. Yeah, no, it's cool how this dance, like I said, can really be formative for other
yeah,
aspects of your life. You know what I mean? It's almost like a guiding post for you in many regards. So um, I do want to get to some of your other experiences because we talked about Sideshow and getting into that and how it's really helped you, and especially with the dance helping you with a lot of life things as well. So I know that for a little bit, talking offline with you, confidence has been like a little bit of
oh yeah,
a
for sure,
of a thing. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And we talked about kind of like circle anxiety and
yeah.
performance anxiety. And it's like even the best of us get it.
I know, dude, it's crazy. I've been asking like some top shufflers. I'm like, yo, how do you like get rid of your anxiety? Like, I don't.
Yes,
I
yes.
still have it. It's like, what the hell? Just go in. I'm
Yep.
like, all right, cool. Good to know.
That's encouraging. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That like even the cream of the crop, like they
Get
still
nervous,
feel
yeah.
it. Yeah, like they're
We're
you
all
know
humans.
we have shufflers like going on, stages now and shuffling in front of thousands of
Yeah, that's
people and
crazy.
shit. You know what I mean? And it's like they're probably feeling it too, like it's a lot to just dance in front of anyone, to be honest. It makes it a little bit better when they're individuals that like and trust,
Yeah.
especially like your crew members, local community. Like if you already kind of have, that they're an advocate and they're a supporter of you, that it takes a little bit, of the stressor or the pressure off of you. But it's something that we really deal with. But you were talking about a couple instances where you felt like your confidence, improved with the dance. Can you kind of describe maybe like how you felt previous, and how I guess like maybe that lack of confidence was like affecting you, and then how you kind of felt on the other side of it once you kind of built that up and you knew that you were like a competent shuffler and you kind of built
Okay.
it.
Um, yeah, so as far as wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, that was a lot. That was a lot at you. Yeah, the confidence thing. So it's like,
Oh, how did I build up to my confidence?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. How
no,
did
yeah.
how did you build it up over time? Were there any shows in
Yeah, no,
particular or
for sure.
festivals that like you went to that you felt like you had that inflection point, like you kind of
Yeah.
came out the other side?
So of course, when I started shuffling, like I had no confidence because I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any support.
And you're a 190 chubby boy.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
I love
And
that. That's
dude,
so funny.
yeah, I remember I was going through my old videos, and then like my cousin recorded me, and I was shirtless at EDC. I was so chunky. I'm like, damn, bro. There's nothing bad, but I'm like, yo, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So no, yeah. So as far as like shuffling, I'm not gonna say like I am confident in my shuffling, but like
Mhm.
as far as leading up to it, I wasn't all that confident like starting up just because I mean I'm not sure if everybody's like this, but like I compared myself to other people. I was like,
Mhm.
yo, like these people are fucking dope. And it was just random people, right? And then the I would want to say the way I built up my confidence was because when I would go to raves back in the day, when I started, there was always that one strangler or two people that like would stop and like just watch me shuffle. I'm
Mhm.
like, yo, they're like, dude, you're a fucking wizard with your feet. This is and that. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude. So even though I knew that I wasn't that great, I was still like in the beginning stages and
Mhm.
everything. Um, that built my confidence little by little. Not a
Got
lot.
it.
Not like let's just say like very very little, like very very minimal, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Throughout the years, that kept on happening. And then I met some of my closest friends because they're headbangers. They like dubstep, right?
Mhm.
So I met them, and then they saw me shuffling for the first time. They're like, "Dude, you're fucking dope. Like, you're tight. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, I didn't believe in myself. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I just thought they were just saying that, you know? And I was like, damn, thank you. So, like, we started going to more shows, and they started, like, hyping me up a bit more and a bit more. And then I started getting into the scene with Arizona Shufflers. And then they started, like, essentially, like, teaching me stuff, how to, like, get my confidence up, how to, like, train better, how to, like, yeah, so train and like how to be consistent. Like one of the things that Colin told me that really, really like speaks to me, and this is what I tell a lot of people too, like whenever like, yo, how do you train? Um, I'm like, yo, like Colin told me like, hey, like if you want to practice a move, practice it 100 times a day, and you'll be for a week, and you'll be good. Well, not good, but like you'll be essentially better than what you were when you started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's almost
like,
impossible that you won't be.
Yeah. So like I took that into heart. I was like, all right, cool. So like I started like practicing whatever move I wanted to practice that week 100 times that day. So like my confidence started to build a little bit up, and then um going into like going into shows in Arizona with the fam, like it started boosting up my confidence. And then I'm not gonna lie, when I got into sideshow, like that boosted up my confidence a lot. I was like, yo, that's fucking tight. Like I get to be in a crew that's like really dope, and like there's a bunch of cool shufflers, good shufflers.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a passerby that was saying like, "Oh, you're cool, you're a wizard."
Yeah,
with your
it was
feet.
people that actually like
shuffle,
been in the game for years, you know.
Yeah, and just a side note on that, like that's like I think that's the beauty of going to shows with other shufflers that are there, and like ShuffleCon, for example, like everyone in that room knew how to shuffle, more or less. So a compliment from one of them, from any shuffler, because they have that, you know, they have a better idea of what it took to get to where you are. Even if they're not where you are, they know how far that you needed to go. You know what I mean? Past them or before them, or, you know, their current stage in their shuffle journey, how many hours that went into it. So they have a better representation of like, you know, the work that goes into it. So when they give you a compliment, it means more. I think it means more than if it's just someone who is naive,
like a bystander.
Bystander, naive, and not like I'm not putting a negative connotation in that. They just don't know like what actually goes into, you know, progressing in this dance. So like when you hear it from someone who does know, you can apply more weight to it. You know what I mean? So like that's very encouraging, and I think that really builds confidence. Getting your first compliment from like someone who's good, or that you respect, or even just another shuffler in general. You know what I mean? I think it means a lot.
Yeah, dude. When when I was at Movement, one of the I think his name's Anthony. I'm not sure. He's in Mercenary. You know where that like the Mercenary, like I think it's here in LA, or like
no.
It's like I think it's either a page or they're a crew.
Okay.
And he saw me getting down. He's like, dude, your shit's fucking tight. Your rocking is tight. And I was like, yo, for you to say that to me, like, that's fucking tight. Like, that's dope. Because he's really good. Like he was getting down, and I was like, dude, that's tight. I was having like a fanboy moment, like, oh my god, you said that. Yeah. But in my mind, you know, I had to call. Yeah. Like, oh shit, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Cool, brother.
Yeah.
You're like,
but no, I think I want to say like this happened very, very recently. Like as far as like knowing that I was a good shuffler, I went to this Exhale show. I want to say a couple months ago, and it was nothing but techno. It was Emily Lanz, Farrago, and then Copaso. So it's like some fucking hard techno. It was dope. And it was just straight techno for like 3-4 hours, right? And like I was just getting down, just wherever. Like I was just throwing it down, right? Yeah. I was with other shufflers, and then we just had a good time. And then Michelle from SideShow, Michi.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, were you wearing your SideShow shirt? I'm like, yeah, I was. And I guess she sent me a screenshot of like of a girl saying like, yo, you guys know of this person that was fucking throwing it down all night? And then she's like, was he wearing an SS shirt, like a triangle shirt? He's like, yeah, he was. So he was talking about, or that girl was talking about me.
Okay.
I was like, bro, to like get that in a chat like that I'm not even in, that like they're asking about me, like
Yeah, people are like talking about you
yeah,
one way
like
or
you know who
another.
this guy is. I'm like, yo, that was like eye opening. I was like, yo, that's fucking tight. Like
Hmm.
to know people that like actually acknowledge how I shuffle, and like that was very big. So I think that was
And it wasn't even acknowledgement towards you. It was like to someone.
yeah.
It was like a third party.
Yeah, it was like I think it was a Discord chat, like their
Okay.
Discord chat,
Yeah, yeah,
or yeah, and I was like, dude, that's fucking tight. Like, I wasn't like expecting that. Like, I was just having fun,
yeah,
something that I love, you know, the kind of
yeah.
music that I love. I was getting down to like the music that I love. So I think that's when I started like, yo, like I not like believe more of a sense of like believing in my shuffling, like yo,
Hmm.
like I am good. Like people do fuck with me.
Yeah, mess with your
Yeah.
style.
And then what I think see the deal was going to movement, and like people be like, yo, like your shit is fucking tight. Like I've been following you for like I don't know, like I've been following you, or I've been watching
Hmm.
your videos online. I know you're because you know you can tell a shuffler by like the way they shuffle, like their style.
Yep, yep, yep,
So they're
yep.
like, yo, like
Especially if you've seen them online,
yeah,
and yeah,
yeah. So
you
they
have
were
an
like, dude,
idea.
like I've been watching you, or like that's dope. That like I recognize your style, or this is that. And then they would like ask for my name. I'm like, oh, I'm
Hmm.
Gomez. Like you're Gomez underscore C. I'm like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
So I think, and it's fairly recently, but I think
Hmm.
movement was like like a fully eye opener that like I am a good shuffler, and like
Hmm.
people do fuck with my style, even though it's online and online presence. But like I'm like, yo, like people do look at me, people do like I might be inspiring them in a way. I think movement was they seal the deal, like as far as like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the notoriety involved with all of it too. People knowing your name,
yeah,
and they've obviously been like at least following your page and
yeah,
watching your videos, and like yeah, acknowledging like the skill set and things like that. And yeah, it's very cool to kind of get that validation, you know what I
yeah,
mean, from the community at large, and for people to recognize you at live events. It's always very, very flattering, you know
yeah,
what I
it's
mean,
dope.
at the end of
Yeah,
the day. And it's like uh, I love doing that to other people too, you know what I mean, just grabbing someone and being like, dude, I like watch your shuffling all the
yeah,
time, like you're an inspiration to me, and like leave it at that, because I know that it depends on how they meet that reaction. If they want to get
yeah,
back to the show, cool, you know what I mean, that's what we're here
yeah,
for. But it's like if they want to like talk, like I'm down to talk, I'm
yeah,
down to talk to people who like I really appreciate their style, or I've heard good things about them via just referral from like other people and whatnot. But it's always cool to be on that end of the exchange, like someone coming up to you and being very, um, just amicable and appreciative of like what you put out
yeah,
there,
your style and everything. Yeah, it
Yep.
makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, I mean, knowing that somebody like is like that, I was like, yo, that's like it's a compliment, like very like dope. Like it's just it goes to the heart. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
thank you for like I guess believing in me.
Yeah. And it's like, that you had an emotional response to that because now you remember it and then you're
Yeah.
sharing it with me. So like I know that it meant a lot to you, and as it does for myself and other shufflers as well. So I encourage everyone listening to like if you really mess with someone's style, you really enjoy, what they do online and you meet them in person, like pay them that compliment, because
Yeah.
I'm almost positive they will respond, in a way that they'll appreciate you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that. You know what
Or
I
even
mean?
just yeah, like me, like to be honest, like if I don't know that shuffler and like I really like their style, or, like their shuffling, be like, yo, your shit's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, thank you. Even just like because it is dope, you know, like yo, your shit's
Yeah.
fucking tight. Like,
Some people are shy and like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And I think that's kind of the intent of the podcast as well. It's like people are going to listen to you and others, and like they're going to know that you're very approachable and like you're good to like be spoken to at
Yeah.
shows and
I was like,
stuff
yo,
like
don't talk
that.
to me. No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
stop. No.
yeah. Stop, turn around. Yeah.
uh,
But no, and that's not the sideshow vibes. Like you
no,
can
no,
always
for
dance with
sure. Yeah,
us. You can
exactly. Yeah,
always
yeah.
like vibe with us. We always want to like connect
We're
with one
encouraging. Yeah,
another.
I like I like it when like when I'm shuffling, like in the past, where like I've been shuffling and then like people just watch me and then they get down. I'm
Hmm.
like, yo, we're all here for the same reason. Just it's tight when like people see your energy and then they're drawn into your energy, so they want to get down.
Yeah. It's like contagious. You know what I mean? Like you've inspired their movement, just by you doing your thing.
Exactly. And then next you know, both of you are going rounds with each other just for fun, It's a cool feeling.
And also, I think that's one of the best reasons why just jumping into the circle, even when you don't feel comfortable with it, or like apply any other uncomfortable position.
Dude, yesterday when we did the cypher, dude, I was so nervous. Like my hands were cramping up. I was like, ugh. And I was like, fuck.
Was that your arm flow?
Yeah, like, I was like, fuck, man. And then I saw Seth stepping. I was like, oh, fuck it. I just have to go. Yeah. So I went, and then like in a good way, I blacked out because I was like, yo, just my body just took control over that run.
Yeah.
Like, yo, yeah. I was like, damn. But yeah, man, it's hard to like sometimes go in that circle and like after you do that first run, after you like get rid of those jitters. Yeah. It's
easy.
It's just that first run that you need to like get over.
Yeah. Kind of kick your ass into the circle. But yeah, like with anything, like whether that be circle anxiety, any kind of performance anxiety where you feel like you have eyeballs on you, shuffling in public, you know what I mean? Things of that regard. Like I do feel that it's like a really good thing to overcome because you just don't know who you're inspiring in that moment. Like, yeah, you might have that internal dialogue that's like, I suck, I'm not sick, you know what I mean? I'm not as cool as I thought I was. But it's like, they're in everyone else's head, they might be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, he is getting it, you know what I mean? Or like, I'm in my head, but like, he's having a good time. Now I want to jump in. Like, you don't know how you're changing someone else's internal dialogue, you know what I mean? And to kind of to not put yourself in the position to change someone else's, perspective, whether it's like, okay, you inspired me to move, or like, you inspired me to jump into the circle or whatever else. You might be being a little bit selfish. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because like, like you could totally be that change for someone, you know what I mean? That like, that opens up their expression, So it's like, don't like let that light shine. Is kind of what I'm saying, Yeah,
that's cool. I never thought about it. Because it is true. Because like, if you're having not a bad day, but like if you're like, I don't know, you're in your head about something, and then you see somebody in the circle, you're like, yo, that's fucking tight, and then they open up that light in you, like, yo, let me just get down. So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And they might have had apprehension about going in the circle in the beginning, and if they didn't, then that wouldn't have happened for you. You know what I mean? To have that interaction. So it's like, just send it full send.
I know, man. I know when you pulled me in that circle, that movement, dude.
Sarah Landry, the feral circle.
Dude, I was like, dude, this is intense.
Yeah. Sorry about that. An ambient part just started when I pulled you in. Do you remember that? It was like that we had a 4 on the floor. And then like, as soon as my 8, like it was at the end of an 8 count that I like pulled you in, and then like the bass stopped, you know what I mean? And it was kind of like an ambient part, and you had to do a little bit of flow.
No, but it's cool. Cause like, I mean, what is it? It like made me think on the spot as far as like just flowing with my body.
Yeah. You had a little bit of time to kind of settle into the circle, and then like wait for that beat to drop. Yeah. You crushed it, dude. We were all crushing that circle.
No, dude, it was a dope ass. Like, it was some heavy hitters.
Yeah. Shout out to like Killer Croc, Autumn, like Julia, Mars, like Brent was getting it. Andy, Kidani was in there. Like, dude, that was so fun.
Yeah, it was, man.
I'm gonna throw some of those videos in the show notes. Yeah. Hold me to it. But movement was one for the books.
It was, man. It was. It was fun. It was really, really fun.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, we're gonna wrap up here soon. We got to get to a sesh at the studio.
Sunday session.
Yep. At the FTS studio, Flow Complex, proper. And but. From here on out, we'll move to our last segment, the world famous Final 5.
Let's do it.
All right, these are the 5 questions. The world famous Final 3. Well, so one of the segments that I'm doing is the 3 and out, and that's for the DJ showcases and the flow showcases that may or may not be released right now. Maybe this is an announcement for them. But this is not the three and out. This is the world famous Final Five. And these are the 5 questions that I ask all the guests that I have on the show, just to get, everyone's response, and hopefully, it'll allow the audience to know you a little bit more, what your preferences are, things of that nature. So first question is, what is your favorite musical genre?
I love techno. I love it, bro. I would want to say, yeah, man. I think I told you this, but like I started listening to techno very early into like my not early, but like I started raving in 2015, so about by like 2017, mid 2016, I was already into like techno.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. I'm here to joke by myself. Just it's just like an inside joke to myself,
Mhm.
saying that I sold my soul to techno because I fucking just love it, dude. I know it. I mean, I'm not spiritual or anything, but like, yeah, I say it like, yo, I just love it. It's dope.
Dude,
It gets my blood boiled. It's just so emotional. Like when you're like getting down to it, there's no emotions in it. You're just like stomping.
it's raw. It's an open canvas.
Yeah,
You know
like,
what I mean? For like kind of wherever you want to go with it.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? I mean, it can be simple or complex, but there is a progression, there as well that you can play with. But it's really an open format,
Yeah.
and and it brings such it can bring an intense energy, to it, depending on what techno. But there's a lot of fun techno. There's a lot of
Yeah.
melodic techno as well that
Yeah.
it can be a little bit more lighthearted too. So yeah,
Drum
Yeah.
code is very, very, yeah.
yeah, drum code is good. So actually, any other artists that like, or like just artists or labels that like you really enjoy? I'm starting to get more curious about this.
I do. I'm a drum code fan. Like
Mhm.
I love. I've been loving drum code. Exhale, which is Emily Lenz's. Like I think that's her label. They have
Okay.
like some pretty good heavy hitters. Like it's like hard techno. It's pretty good. Um, as far as regular labels, I'm not. I don't really pay attention to that a lot.
Got it.
But like as far as like artists, I do really like Copasil. He's pretty dope. Um, like if you like some heavy techno, like I think it's like Nico Romero's pretty good.
Mm.
Of course, everybody knows like 9 by 9.
Hmm.
Um, I like Adam Bear a lot. I like Alan Fitzpatrick. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of artists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's a ton out there. A lot to choose from.
there is.
All fire. All
Yeah,
fire though.
I recently started like not caring so much about the artists like that are at the festival,
Hmm.
more as far as like the vibe.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Their song selection.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
the
no. As far as
transitions.
like the vibe, like the who I'm going with.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. The homie lineup.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I love techno, so like
Yeah.
whoever's gonna be playing is probably gonna be fire.
Hmm.
But yeah, as long as like if I'm gonna go by myself, I'm like, I don't know. But if I'm gonna go with homies, then yeah.
Yeah. It is an interesting phenomenon, like one shuffler in the club. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard to maintain your space sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, people are kind of walking into your stuff. Like, and then also just like sharing that dance floor with someone. If there's no one to share it with, it's sometimes
It's hard,
yeah. It can still be fun, especially if you really like
Oh yeah,
the
for
artist
sure.
and their song selection. However, doing it with like people that are,
Yeah.
of that same
At
wavelength
least
that we've been
one
talking to.
person. At least,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember me and Manny, FTS. We went to this. Have you heard of Pleasurecraft? No,
No.
he plays some good techno. We went to this warehouse party. Well, it wasn't really a warehouse. It was like a studio kind of warehouse-ish venue. And it was just me and him, and like we were just getting it down like the whole night. And it was crazy because like people were like around us. Like I guess we were inspiring people to shuffle too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as long as you have one more person with you, I feel like it would be it's always gonna be a good vibe,
Mhm.
whether you go by yourself or not.
I definitely agree. Like that, the buddy system with
Yeah.
shuffling is real, because like you can hold space together.
Mhm.
Like you're not just an anomaly anymore, just the one lone shuffler. Like it's kind of more of a thing. And, I think you can feed off of each other's energies.
Oh, for sure,
As well. And like that was actually a part of the story as to why Daniel started Sideshow is, when Daniel had that interaction, I forget what fest it was. I'm trying to think.
Did he say Heart Summer?
Huh?
No.
Yeah, he said it was. He said it was a festival, but where he basically was excluded from a shuffle
Oh,
circle.
yeah.
Him and Max just on their own
Yeah.
went and
I remember,
went to another stage and were getting it. They were filming each other. They're having a great time. So it's like there's something to be said about a group of two shufflers just like off to the races getting it. So very cool to hear about. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Next question I have for you. What is your favorite place to dance?
Damn. Favorite place to dance. So if let's just say it's a perfect day in Arizona, like it's not hot. It's nice and there's this, I think it's called a gazebo, in this place called Hole in the Rock. So it's Hole in the Rock is basically like a mountain with a hole in it. But on the bottom, it's next to a zoo.
Mm-hmm.
So between the zoo and like the Hole in the Rock, it's like a little park.
Mm-hmm.
And there's they're called gazebos, right? They're concrete, and then they have like a little fucking just.
It's gazebos are usually just like a structure, like
a
round structure that goes down.
Yeah, so kinda. there's one of those there, and the floors are super smooth. The concrete is like so smooth. I would want to say that's my favorite place to dance just because of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like people walking by, it does intimidate me just because it's like just everybody's walking around, and I'm just the weird guy dancing or something. But no, but there's been instances where like they like look at me, they're like, "Wow, you can dance." I'm like, "Thank you." Or like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm recording for like a video or for like a battle." I remember this one time this girl's like, "Are you doing it for a TikTok?" I'm like, "Nah." I was like, "Nah,
you got
bro."
The wrong guy.
Yeah, like, nah. I was actually recording for my FTS battle. I'm not sure I think it was last year. I'm like, "Nah, I'm recording for a battle." "What battle?" So I give them the information.
Got it.
So I wonder if they looked at it or not. But
spread the love, spread the culture. Like one way or another, whatever they do with that information.
But I want to say it's there. But the only reason why I say if the weather is perfect is because there's no shade. Like if it's sunny, you're gonna sweat.
Okay, got it. So there's no coverage.
There's like just a roof, but like you won't. I don't know. And then plus Arizona's really hot, so like you'll sweat within 5-10 minutes.
Got it. So you need to be in the certain months or whatever. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Fair enough. Next question for you. What is your favorite set, show, or festival that you've attended?
Favorite set, show, or festival. I want to say my favorite show would have to be I want to say I have two, but it's for different reasons. So my one of my favorite shows is going to be that Excel show. Reason being is my best friend and his fiance, they like dubstep a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They do tolerate techno. But it's not like, yo, like let's do a full event or like let's do a full show. And
they'll hit a set or something.
So they full sent that. Like they're like, yo, like we know that you like techno. We know that you have good taste. They believed in me that I'm gonna take them to a good show that they've never been to because they've never heard. They've obviously heard of Emily Lenz, but they didn't hear of the other ones, like the other, like Copasil or like Farrago. I think there was somebody else. I'm not sure who it was, but it was all them, and they trusted me that it was going to be a good show. Oh, and my other friend went to, like, one of my other best friends, but he's a trance head. Okay. He does like techno, but he's not into it like he is with trance.
Okay.
So for them to, like, believe that show was going to be dope and, like, they were going to have fun was something special just because they enjoyed it. My best friend's fiance, she's been, like, learning how to shuffle, like, inside, like, by herself. And I think that was the first time she shuffled in front of me. She's like, "Hey, she's like, I've been practicing because like I know we were gonna come here, and I just been practicing, and I just wanted to show you how much I've been like working on it."
Yeah, that's cool.
So it has a special place in my heart just because like I took them out there, we had a dope ass fucking weekend. They loved the show, they enjoyed it. And yeah, I think that I want to say that's one of my favorite shows. Favorite festivals, I think it's gonna be Movement, just because the vibes are fucking dope.
Yeah.
shufflers everywhere.
That was your first one,
That was my
right?
first one. Yeah, I've been wanting to go for years, but
Mm-hmm.
that was my first one. It was amazing. It was tight.
It
It
really
was
was.
cool.
It really was. I share that sentiment for sure. Awesome, man. What is your favorite book?
I don't read books. I can do a favorite movie.
Send it.
Send it. All right.
Wait. Tell the audience what the last book you read.
Shit.
You should have never told me before the interview.
So I'm not a big reader. The last book that I can fully remember reading was like Captain Underpants in like 6th grade.
Oh yeah, dude, that was a good series. I'm not gonna lie.
It was either that. I was into like Captain Underpants and then like the Goosebump books.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I lost interest. I was like, why am I gonna be reading? I don't know. I don't like reading. But yeah, those are the last books that I ever read completely. I read during COVID, I bought a finance book on how to like something about like tips with finance, but I only got to like the 10th page.
Okay.
And then I stopped. I was like, this is boring.
Got it. You got YouTube for that.
Yeah.
Like some personal finance stuff.
My favorite movie is gonna be Step Brothers.
Okay.
That movie is so fucking funny. Like, I can like, if you put it on, like I can quote it. Not all of it, but like majority of it, I can quote it. It's so fucking funny, dude.
Got it. Yeah, just some comedic relief for life, in general. That is great. That is a great movie. All right, next question. I guess more on a serious note. If you had to put any message on the main stage production of a large scale festival, think like EDC Las Vegas or Tomorrowland, what would that message say? There'd be tens of thousands of people viewing it.
To be kind to each other, and so to be kind with each other and just enjoy the moment, because you like basically be kind and you are here. So like meaning like be kind to one another and like enjoy the fact that you are in this festival.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, people might have hard times. They might be having money issues, or they might be having family issues, or they might be having any issue.
Mm-hmm.
But just know that you are there and you're enjoying the moment. You should just be grateful that you're there, you're enjoying it with your friends, and just have fun, just because even that simple one set that makes you forget about everything else is gonna be dope,
Yeah.
It's gonna basically relieve your pain. Whatever you're having, like if you're having issues with your girlfriend, your mom, dad, money issues, whatever it is, if you just live in the moment for that set or for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it's gonna be dope.
Yeah. Lean into it. You know what I mean? Like,
and who knows, like you'll be like, damn, that was a dope ass set, and like maybe you go to another artist that's like him, and within that same day, just live in that moment, just enjoy that you're there.
Yeah. Because I mean, in that moment, how does it serve you to be preoccupied, you know what I mean, by whatever thought, like, I gotta do my taxes, or I gotta, in this moment, like I need to do my taxes. Like, no, you don't.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, bro.
It's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. and it's like, you got a solid techno beat going. Like, it's the last thing you need to think about,
I'm not gonna lie, I've been in situations where like I'm like, damn, dude, like I need to do this and that. I'm like, and it's like Saturday, it's at EDC. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm on a vacation. Like, I'm not gonna be worrying about it. And then just live in the, like, just be there, be present.
Got it. No, I think that's a great message to put on there, and maybe a reminder for someone who might be in that crowd and might be preoccupied about something that they shouldn't be in that moment. So thank you for sharing that, man. I appreciate it. All right, so with that, we're gonna wrap up. Is there anything else that, maybe we didn't talk about that you'd like to touch on, or just share with the listeners? The floor is kind of yours.
I mean, just have fun with it, man. It's like I told Daniel yesterday. I was like, hey, man, because he told me like, bro, your level up has been fucking like amazing, and I was like, yeah, I just feel like I need to catch up because I started shuffling. Within,
that's all right, we can leave it.
I started shuffling 2015. I started in the scene in like 2020. He's like, bro, it's not a race, it's a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So just have fun with it. You're always gonna be learning about new stuff. You're not gonna be a great shuffler within 2-3 months. Stop comparing yourself to other people and just do it for the fun, man. Just do it for fun. Do it because you like it. Do it because you feel the music.
Yeah, and the results will
Yeah,
organically,
exactly. Yeah.
appear after that.
Yeah, once you forget about people watching you and you're actually feeling the music and getting down to it, that's all that matters because you're feeling it,
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome. I know that, because of all these things that you've been saying and the kind of the encouragement and insights from, a veteran shuffler who's kind of been through the rigors, I think this will resonate with a lot of people. So, how can people reach out to you, following this interview if they have questions for you, want you to elaborate on any part of your story?
Instagram, Gomez_C. And then I think I have a TikTok, which is the same username.
Hit his Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, for sure.
Or hit him with like a TikTok dance,
For sure. No, but yeah, Instagram for sure. Got
it. Amazing, man. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, man. It was a lot of fun.
It was dope. It was tight.
Yeah. I think we had a great chat, and it's always an amazing experience to have, one of the Sideshow brothers on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, brother. I love you, man. It's been such a great ride, being your friend, being in Sideshow with you. And I'm really looking forward to the future.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah. Awesome, brother.
You gotta go to the session.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you for listening to the Shuffle Curious podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. We are past the launch, and I'm so appreciative of the support that the show has received. You guys have really stepped up in a huge way, and I'm eternally grateful for that. I know this is a big ask due to the show just starting, and it's very much in its infancy, but any and all support would really be amazing from you guys. So I just wanted to come on and list a couple ways that you guys can help out the podcast moving forward. So first and foremost, subscribing to the YouTube channel would be a huge help. Among, also sharing and following the show on other social media platforms, such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, but in particular, YouTube will really help increase the visibility of the show, and it can help to reach a wider audience as well. In addition to this, leaving a review on anywhere where podcasts are distributed, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, can really leave a positive impression on new listeners, and it will help them discover the podcast more readily. Also, engaging with the podcast, so leaving comments, participating in social media discussions, and just anything that would really help build a community around the podcast would be of great assistance. And please feel free, DM me my personal Instagram @PattyCreates or the show's Instagram at the Shuffle Curious Podcast, with the spaces being underscores. I would love to hear any feedback, any ideas, any discourse around the show. It would be an honor to hear you guys out and implement some of the ideas and the feedback that you guys have for me. Also, donating to the podcast directly or purchasing a Shuffle Curious shirt would help out a lot. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of energy, and unfortunately money that goes into the podcast, and it will continue to go into the podcast. So let's just get one thing straight here. It's really been a complete joy doing the show, and no matter how much or how little monetary assistance the show receives, we'll still be performing the mission of bringing the Shuffle community together. But with a little bit of help, I'll be able to travel more for these interviews, buy better equipment, be able to compensate all the amazing people who have made the show a reality and have volunteered their time, things of that nature. So buying a shirt would be much more than buying a shirt. And I don't know if you guys realize, but if I ever saw someone at a festival wearing a Shuffle Curious podcast shirt, you would be my best friend in a huge way. I'd love to see it, and I'd give you a big bear hug. So you can purchase these shirts on the Instagram bio of the show, also the show's website, and then I'll have links in the show notes as well. As for the donation, just please, send me a DM if you feel inclined to donate to the show. I will definitely entertain that. And if you're so inclined, that would be absolutely amazing. I'm not going to create a button for donating to the show or GoFundMe or anything like that. It would just be a conversation between you and I. So, and I thank you for that consideration. But lastly, you guys have supported the show just by listening. Also listening to this whole outro, that's awesome. You guys rule for doing that. And I just cannot understate my appreciation for all of you guys for being a part of this crazy ride that it's been so far. So without further ado, I wanted to get on, give you guys a couple of ways that you can support. You can run with as many or as little of them as you would like, but I thank you, regardless for your listenership and support. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. Please get out there and dance, stay curious, and I will see you in the next episode, friend.